So, favourite lizard?
The lizard from Spider-Man, but not the Amazing Spider-Man. Fuck that version of the lizard. Not since the days of the dinosaurs has a reptile been afforded the kind of respect normally given to the Komodo dragon. A gluttonous creature well known for its insatiable appetite, Komodo dragons show so little regard for their own body while eating that scientists have concluded that they neither need nor possess a fuck-giving gland.
So I'm assuming that Komodo dragons are like predators.
Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you, given like their fearsome reputation, the fact that they're one of the largest, most powerful reptiles on the planet, but they're largely considered to be scavengers, just as a result of the fact they will eat fucking anything. So they more often than not find themselves just eating crap that's on the ground. As a result, they're equally as happy gorging themselves on like rotten carrion they find on the ground, as much as they are like, the freshly killed prey that they tear apart with their own giant lizard claws.
It just amazes me that things like I can eat things that are rotten. Like, if
Yeah.
we go anything that's slightly out of date, it's just like, oh, I'm so ill.
Yeah, immediately causes us to spend 3 weeks in bed shitting it.
Yeah.
But no, there's a few animals that are capable of that. Komodo dragons are one of them. Vultures, perhaps the most famous example. I believe we've talked about on the channel before how they are basically virtually impervious to the effects of rotten meat, up to and including the ability to eat meat they deliberately put parasites and stuff into, because their stomach acid is noted as being that strong, in addition to possessing piss that is also antiseptic. So if they piss on their own feet when they stand inside the rotten carcasses, which stops any disease or anything from going on their feet. So as a result, as we mentioned in that video, vultures are actually seen as being very helpful to an environment because they completely remove viruses and parasites from the environment they live in because they are end stage hosts where parasites can't live. And so Komodo dragons are similar in the sense that they just possess such strong stomachs that they can eat virtually anything regardless of how rotten or teeming with disease it is.
And all I need to do is I eat a greasy takeaway and I'm like, oh, my stomach.
I've had that. I've walked past Chino's once and got food poisoning. It's fucking horrendous. Then you got bloody Komodo dragon, just I'm just gonna eat this rotten goat's head and fuck it and just slam it down the mouth. It's great. So I wish I had a stomach as strong as that, but unfortunately we have higher brain function and opposable thumbs, so I guess it works out.
I think the worst I had it was when I was younger. I had these yogurts. They were monsters.
It's always bad when it's a yogurt.
They were these Monsters Inc. themed, so they were green anyway.
So you couldn't tell.
So you couldn't tell, and I think they were a couple of days out of date. And I was so ill for the next week. I was so sick, throwing up. Oh, it put me off, because it was a strawberry flavoured. It put me off strawberry yogurts for ages.
I'll still not forget when I was really hungover once, and I lived in a flat share. So I was in university, and I went downstairs, and I accidentally took a swig of my housemate's milk. My housemate who'd been at home for 2 weeks.
Oh.
So it was. Do you know what it was? Because I was so hungover and it was so dark. It was when it started to separate. It's got that watery liquid on top, so it separated. And I just went, and obviously. And it pours all over my face and all over my clothes. I'm like, oh, and it's all over the floor. So not only do I have to go upstairs and immediately shower and throw up, then I come downstairs and I've got to clean it up.
Nothing smells worse than gone off milk.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I will still never forget when we moved into a new place and there was milk still in the fridge from the 6 weeks earlier, and it gone. And we just looked at it and went, I'm not fucking touching that. And we're not doing out with that. So we got duct tape and fastened it around the edge, and it's put in 3 bin bags. And then just went, it's fucking someone else's problem. Joe, when you always hear those stories, you need to, push down the tops of your ring pulls on cans and stuff so birds don't get stuck in them. I feel sorry for the bird that pecked at that. Because that was that bird just detonated. That was that moment in 4 Lions when the guy trips on the landmine and blows up the sheep. Boom!
So Komodo dragons are scavengers.
Yes, mostly.
But I'm assuming they can kill things quite easily as well.
Pretty much anything, yes. And they are remarkably strong for their size, to the point a single swing from their mighty Komodo dragon tails is often compared to a swing from a baseball bat. And they can effortlessly knock down even a human-sized target with one swing of their tail, at which point they will then go to town on the soft underbelly of the creature that they've just knocked down. But in addition to this, they also possess incredibly powerful forelimbs and very sharp claws that will allow them to dig or cut through virtually any substance they will happen upon in their natural environment. But their greatest and most famous weapon is, of course, the gaping maw of death they possess at the front of their face.
So what is it about their mouth that is so dangerous?
Well, it's a combination of things with the Komodo dragon, because One, it has an incredibly powerful bite as it is. So if they bite your arm, they could very easily, break all the bones within it, or straight up rip it off, because obviously their bodies are just so strong. It's pure muscle. Yeah. They're basically a wandering bicep. Crocodiles can just spin and rip your arm off. They can do something similar. They can just they tear it so much, in addition with their claws going ape shit. And as if that wasn't bad enough, they also have a gland in their mouth that produces a toxin that melts your blood. So if you somehow survive having a big chunk of your arm ripped off by a Komodo dragon, it will just lace it with this toxin that will cause your flesh to go necrotic almost immediately. If you somehow survive that, due to the fact that Komodo dragons regularly chow down on rotten meat, their mouth is also teeming with bacteria. So if you don't die from the first two things, you'll be killed by an infection, which is why they're one of the most efficient hunters in their ecosystem, because they don't need to kill something, they just need to bite it. And if they bite it, it's guaranteed to die. Yeah. Because the combination of those three things is going to fucking kill you.
Like you could bite another animal and be like, I'll come back later, you'll be dead.
Yeah, it's what they do. They will bite things and then just wear them down. Because even something like many times larger and stronger than itself cannot, compete with blood-melting toxin and just, horrendous, horrible infections in addition to their Komodo dragon wounds.
So obviously they can afford to not give a fuck, really. Then.
Because they're immune to all of that, obviously, yeah. Because they're so strong, they can shrug off what would be a mortal injury for another creature. And also, as reptiles, they possess, quite good regenerative abilities. So they heal very quickly from wounds, in addition to being very strong and powerful and scary, with an amazing sense of smell. Right, so long story short, if you are bitten by a Komodo dragon, you will die, almost guaranteed. And if you somehow manage to survive everything I've just listed, it is rumoured that Kang La, the king of the Komodo dragons, will visit you in your sleep and shake your hand.
I imagine the only way to get rid of the infection or anything is if they bite your hand, you have to just cut your arm off.
But that'd have to be instant, because that's a really popular rumour. Oh, if you get bitten somewhere, cut it off. But people forget that your blood makes one journey around, all several kilometres of your your veins and your arteries in about 60 seconds. So by the time you've been bitten, the blood's probably already in your heart somewhere. So
literally,
it has to be instantaneous. So unless the Komodo dragon itself rips your arm off, you're probably not going to get away with that. And as if all this alone wasn't scary enough, they basically have super armour in the sense that they're impervious to pain. So even if you started stabbing it or some shit like that, it's the Komodo dragon doesn't care. It's still going to bite you. So you stab it, it's going to rip your arm off. It's not a good trade.
Just stay away.
Don't fight the Komodo dragon. It's got really good stats.
So what is it about the Komodo dragon's eating habits that makes it so scary?
It's largely because their appetite is virtually limitless and they can eat 80% of their body weight in a single sitting.
It's relatable.
It is, yeah, I've been there. I've tried to be there at least anyway. It's have you ever seen that post of a guy's oh man, I weighed myself and I weigh 99 pounds, so I want to eat a pound of Dorito, so I'm 1% Dorito. And shit like that. But a Komodo dragon can consume almost its entire body weight in one sitting, which is almost unheard of for a creature of its size. That combined with the fact they will eat anything and the fact they roam for so many miles, as part of their territory, makes them basically just constant wandering threats in the island of Komodo. They are basically in the wild areas of Pokemon.
Yeah.
So they are that constant, just wandering high-level Pokemon that's going to fuck up your shit that you run away from every single time. Do you know what they are? They are the Marlborough from Final Fantasy, where you bump into it and you're, oh, for fuck's sake, and it immediately just casts every status effect possible on your party and you die.
The worst thing in the Pokemon in the wild is when you don't see it, you just
it just sneaks up on you.
You just see this exclamation mark, you're for fuck's sake, what is this?
That's how it'd be in the real world, though, isn't it? It's like those squirrels that attack people.
Yeah.
All those clips you see of squirrels jumping on people's faces and shit.
So they're known to eat pretty much anything.
Yeah, garbage cans of the land, basically.
I'm assuming there's at least something they won't eat.
There is, and it's really weird because one thing Komodo dragons have been known to actively avoid when consuming carcasses or when they've captured prey is their own stomachs. And scientists and experts are really curious, why don't they eat the stomachs of animals that they kill? It's not like the stomach acid is going to hurt them.
Yeah.
And an actual theory is because the stomach of a lot of animals they kill would contain vegetables. And Komodo dragons aren't about that life. And again, relatable. They don't want to eat vegetables. They will eat rotten, gone-off meat that's covered in flies, but fuck vegetables.
They've seen a bit of greenery. No,
it's none of that. No, I was going to eat all this. It's so bad. But yeah, The only thing they've been known to absolutely avoid is like the stomachs of animals that they've killed or that they happen upon, because they might contain vegetables and presumably like vegetables themselves. So the only effective armour that you could wear when fighting a Komodo dragon is like broccoli. Do you like Daddy Daycare, which dresses like the giant bit of broccoli?
Yeah.
Like that's what you'd need to wear to fight a Komodo. So can we now just behind me just Photoshop that? Do you like the bit where he's fighting the carrot? Just instead of fighting the carrot, it's just Eddie Murphy dressed like broccoli fighting a Komodo dragon. Oh, there we go. There's another t-shirt idea for the people at home anyway.
Okay, so we've not gotten to the main part of the article
Yes.
where you mentioned they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, because like just eating anything isn't like that impressive. Like a lot of animals will basically eat anything they happen on. They're animals. Like they need sight. It's like it's the drive to survive. Like supersedes virtually everything else. So what I think differentiates Komodo dragons from other scavengers like who eat virtually anything they happen across is the fact that Komodo dragons will actively harm themselves to eat faster. And to explain what I mean, you first need to understand that like some reptiles, like snakes, Komodo dragons can eat things bigger than their own head. So they can open their mouths wide enough to eat something bigger than their own head, and they have very flexible gullets into which they can force food. But the thing about Komodo dragons is though, very good sense of smell. So it's very rare for a Komodo dragon to find a recently killed thing and not see another Komodo dragon doing it. And what Komodo dragons have been observed doing to stop them, because they will actively go up to another Komodo dragon and steal the food out of their mouth, is they will get it in their mouth and they will then position themselves next to a tree and then run at it as fast as they can so they can smash the food against the tree to force it down their gullet faster.
Oh my God.
And the force they have been seen doing this is so extreme, they will knock the trees over. So they will headbutt trees down to force food down their gullet to stop other Komodo dragons stealing it.
Wow.
And as I said, obviously, it probably does hurt, but they just they just tank their way through it because anything's better than starving.
Yeah.
And I would say any creature that will headbutt trees down while forcing rotten meat down its gullet is an animal that does not give a fuck.
Jesus.
So I've never been that hungry, I'll be honest. I've been really, really fucking, but I've never been that hungry.
I'm just when you were talking about, snakes basically being smaller than the prey.
Yeah.
I saw this video recently of this really small snake eating a frog that was massive, and it was terrifying.
It's like one of my a Google search that I kind of like doing every now and again is snakes eating eggs. Because what you'll do is it'll be a snake, and you see a snake, and it's just got a big bump in the middle of it, and it just looks so stupid. It's like snakes eating egg. It's like, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh, I have to watch that.
Just this little, this little danger noodle, and it's like, whoop, this big fucking egg in the middle. It's great. Sometimes they can't crush them in their mouth, so they just wait for the egg to dissolve. It's really funny.
The frog thing, though, it scared me. The frog just kind of accepted its fate. It's
just
sat there
There's just something horrifying about animals that can eat other creatures in one bite. And it's why the scariest fucking films, at least to me, are the ones where people get eaten alive.
Yeah.
Not like Jaws, where it bites your head off and rips you apart and you just die of shock. No. Have you ever seen the film Deep Rising?
No, I've not seen that.
You have to watch it if you edit this video, because there is a clip. It's basically about this weird undersea creature, similar to an octopus. You never actually see its full design, but it's similar to that. And it has long tentacles and it's on a boat. And there's a guy in it who I think has the harshest, most brutal ass death in any film I've ever seen. He gets eaten by this creature, and then they forget about it about 15 minutes later in the film.
Yeah.
They shoot the creature because they see one of its tentacles, and he falls out half digested, still alive.
Oh,
and it's
no.
oh no! So fucking harsh. Oh, the other one is in Deep Blue Sea.
Oh God,
Joe, and
I've seen that in ages.
But when you have that guy who the sharks throw against the tank and he's still alive.
Oh.
Where he falls into the water because he's got an oxygen tank on, he's still alive as the sharks are dragging him around. It's oh man, that's so fucking scary.
Oh, it's like that scene in Jurassic World, I think it is, where the woman who babysits the kids gets snatched into the air and then dropped into a mouth.
The most unnecessarily harsh death for a cat. She did not deserve that. All she does is try and do a fucking job the entire film, and she has just the most brutal. That in any other film, that'd be the death reserved for the person responsible for all the problems.
Yeah.
But it's just this random woman, and she is so harsh. It's like in Kong Skull Island. There's a guy on a boat, and he just stood there we're finally going to escape, you guys. And a bird just texts him. And then he rips his arm off. And you see someone pointing a gun at him. He goes, don't worry, we can't help him. As he's currently still screaming in agony as he's being carried away. It's like, at least shoot him.
I'd say he's still alive.
At least, don't let him just suffer in agony as you watch him get ripped to pieces. So he just lowers the gun. It's too late, he's already dead. It's like you can still hear him screaming as they say it. It's like, come on. So if that was me, I'd be that guy in Starship Troopers who just fucking shoot me. It is not worth it, man. Just if you see me get captured by a bug, shoot me in the head. I do not want to have happen to me what I've seen happen to everybody else.
It's like in the Saw films. Some of the stuff they go through, I think I'd rather just die.
Just shoot yourself.
I'd rather just die.
I would just slam my head into the concrete wall until I'm dead. Because it's just not fucking worth it.
There's one that I hate is where they've got weighing scales and they've got to cut off bits of their arm or body to fill the weighing scales.
I never got why with that they didn't just chuck the knives and the hatchets down.
Yeah, I don't know. There must have been some sort of
maybe if you rewatch it was chains attached to the stuff they're using as the knives, but
yeah, I don't know.
I've always
a plot hole.
Yeah, those films always piss me off there because there is always at one point in some of the films they always talk about, oh man, Jigsaw never really killed anybody. It's no, he fucking does. He kills them all the time.
He kidnaps them, sets the traps up. So.
He actively puts them in a position where they have no choice but to horribly mutilate themselves. That is 100% a crime. It's and as soon as a police officer or some shit says that, they're in on it. No reasonable person is going to say that shit. Oh, anyway, yeah. Komodo dragons.